The weight issue started in the beginning of the puberty, and of course nobody knew, so my mother gave me the most awful things to eat because I was growing, but she didn't know what good food was. You know, in those days dieting was not an issue really, so I had to eat strange things, and that didn't help at all. Actually, it got worse. And then I, like a lot of women, got frustrated. So I developed for a short while an eating disorder. I suffered years from several things, like very easy growing. My underlegs were very big and red and hard. And the only thing my doctor said was, put a cream on it. And that took years. And then one day I said, okay, this is not good. So I went to a therapist here that is specialized in skin things. And that woman just came back from the Feldberg clinic in Germany. And she said, oh, you have lipedema. I said, lipedema, what's that? Well, that's a disease. I said, a disease? Do you really say that this is a disease? And actually I was glad, because I already knew that there must be something wrong with me, but everybody just said, well, you're just too fat. Yeah, well, yeah, I knew that. But then I knew it had a name, but they didn't have much information for me. So then I began my search quest, perhaps you can call it. And I started reading, and I spent so many hours on the internet, calling people, writing. And then I gradually find out what lipedema was. And I was glad it had a name for me, because then you understand everything. But I also had a lot of questions too. And I also was angry, so angry. Angry at all those doctors who didn't know and misdiagnosed. I thought, there must be so many women who suffer from this. I have to tell them. But I didn't know how. And so I said to my husband, I want to learn how to make a website, because I want to have my own website, so I can tell the world, I can tell the women that this is happening to a lot of us, and that it has a name, and that we are not to blame. That was also very important. So my husband and I started making a website, and then I finished it, and the website went bigger and bigger. I added other languages, more information, and then people started writing me, oh, thank God, I had a diagnosis because I saw it on your website. I make sure that people can print it, so they can print it to their doctors, because there are still doctors out there who say it is bullshit. And it isn't. And people got their diagnosed because of that information. And it made me so glad to know that it helped women. So that is very nice for me to know. I hate so much I don't call it prejudice about fat people, and the lack of good health care. Because I do believe that some of us don't get the health care that they need just because they're fat. Most doctors I have don't like fat people. They just don't take you seriously. I just have to complain for 4 years before they send me to a specialist. And when I'm at the specialist office, they say, well, yes, but you're so heavy, I can't do anything. So sometimes I just don't go to the doctor, because well, they just will say, oh, well, yeah, you're just too fat. And I can't do anything of, and they, it's no matter what's wrong with you, if it's your foot or your thumb, they always say, that's because you're overweight. But I sometimes I quarrel with my doctor, and I even once I shouted to him so that he should realize that fat people can be sick, and that it has nothing to do with being fat. Because if that was the case, only fat people in the world would be sick. And there are a lot of skinny people who are sick too. So, I mean, actually it's stupid. Most lipedema women have no problems with the cholesterol. Diabetic is rare with lipedema people. The triglycerides, I don't know if I say it correctly, are mostly good. So the blood values are mostly good with lipedema patients. And that also tells you that we don't eat that idiot. But unfortunately, they don't look at that. They just see the outside, and sometimes I just think, well, we're just an easy target to them, and they don't know any better. It's not nice. It is just if they don't care even, and I really want to change that if I could. That would be a very big wish, but I really would like that, because I believe that if doctors are more serious and more interested, really interested, that the healthcare would be a lot better. I really do believe that.